coaches are in. When you need a timely, transparent friend, tune into the coaches are in. Talking career, business, health, and wealth. You got a friend. Tune into the coaches are in. With authenticity, come on, let's take a seat and tune in.
Well, hello there.
Hello. We are in the building.
We are in the building. Yes, and what a special Monday it is, because we would not normally be here on the 5th Monday of the month.
Yes.
We were supposed to run it back with an oldie but goodie episode, but we realized it is Life Insurance Awareness Month, and this is like the last opportunity we would have to do an episode about that during the actual month of awareness. So we were able to put this episode together for you to talk about life insurance and the importance of it, and some other things that you may not be aware of. So whether you have life insurance or not, this is probably an important episode that you want to tune into. So we hope that you take the time to watch the full episode, whether you watch us live or watch the replay. It doesn't matter. Just get the information because it's good. And now, before we start that conversation, we'll just go ahead and quickly introduce ourselves, and then we'll get into it. I'm Dr. Sharita Weatherspoon. I am the creator of The Coaches Are In, and I'm the CEO of the Align Biz Co, where I work with Black women entrepreneurs to help them build profitable and purposeful businesses that bring them joy.
I have joy. My name is Allison Garrett. I'm your behavioral interventionist, and I work with women who struggle with identifying exactly what has them stuck, and I help them break free without years of therapy.
And I'm Dr. Malika, and I help you build confidence and tap into the greatness that is within you through coaching and through apparel.
Yes. I'm gonna have to add that on to my next one.
Just for the reminder. Just list them all. Check.
Did you like that? Kind of slip that
in. Right. Yes. All right. So we want to get this conversation started, and we have a special guest with us today. Selena Nelson Canoe, I think is the correct way to say it. Selena is here on behalf of Awanda Hodge, who was our original guest. Stuff happens,
right? Life, and we keep moving.
But Wanda made sure we was straight, and she got her colleague, someone she trusts, to come in her place. So we're excited to have Selena here. And Selena is a licensed independent life insurance agent and a devoted mother of 5. She is also a community advocate that has turned her trials into testimony. She uses her personal and professional experiences to educate families to protect what matters most. Whether in the boardroom, classroom, or her own living room, Selena is committed to helping families create wealth. So we love her for that.
Yes.
Right there.
Absolutely.
So let's welcome Selena to the conversation.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited.
Yes, thank you for joining us. All right. So Malika, I think you got first up.
You know what I did? Let me keep it. Can I keep it real, Dr. Sharita?
Yes, you can.
I'm having a hot flash, okay? Sweat. Okay. I had to turn my fan to work.
I know about 16 other people like, girl, me too. Listen, Harry, post.
Okay, let me get it together because we have a very meaty show, impactful. All right, so welcome, Selena. I'm going to ask you the first question. We're going to jump right into it. So in light of a lot of the GoFundMe's that we see people that we see when people pass away, both young and old. Some are unemployed, some are underemployed, some are retired, but some who are professionals. Speak to the basic importance of why we need life insurance.
That's a really, really good question. And I'm excited to answer. But before I do, I have to give a special shout out to Awanda Hodge for having me on today. She cannot make it. She is excited and ecstatic to hear all the information. But that's a really, really good question. And it's perfect and pertinent because Life Insurance Awareness Month is the 29th. If you haven't put your things in place, you need to contact me and Awanda. And the reason why life insurance is so important is because it creates generational wealth. Aside from that, it creates stability. It creates the option to create the life that maybe you didn't have and you want to see for your children had something or if something happens to you. So I think being intentional about who you want to be or who you want your legacy to be left to are really important reasons to put life insurance in place. Whether you're a professional, whether you're just, a blue collar or a 9 to 5 worker, policies in place are very inexpensive and it has the capability to create a whole nother way of life. And I think it's intentionally keeping away from us to what it can really do. And there's so many stereotypes as to what it really is. But I'm excited for the questions that you guys ask so that we can shed light on what it really is supposed to do for us.
Thank you.
Oh yes. All right. We see those GoFundMe's, and
Yeah.
um I could remember just losing a sibling younger. We had to actually have like a fundraiser and putting jars in the local corner stores and things like that because we did not prepare. So I'd like to follow up with asking, who needs life insurance and when should we get it?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm a mom of 5. And if it was up to me, I would say you should all have policies on your children when they're about 9 months, maybe before then. As soon as they get their social security card, you can put a policy in place, sometimes even before then. Being prepared because we don't know what life holds for us. So being intentional about what we want to choose is important. But I would say children's policies are important to put in place. Why? Because they're young and it has so much time to create cash value and compound on that interest. I would say homeowners, it's important for homeowners to put something in place. I see a lot of families that have to sell the home because the breadwinner has passed. And now you missed out on the opportunity to create generational wealth through real estate, right? How would your life have looked differently had you had a home that was paid for, right? Having that expense freed up, that you'll be able to do more things of passion than just working, to pay bills, right? Also, if you're a business owner, you want to definitely put policies in place, and we're going to hit on those as well. But if you are working, there are policies that you can put in place to protect your paycheck. So if something happens to you and you can't work, you get a percentage of what it is that you will bring it home, weekly or bi-weekly. So there's so many different policies. Everyone, to answer your question, everyone should have a life insurance policy in place, and grandparents should be considering putting life insurance policies in places for their grandchildren. That's a very important one because of how inexpensive it is to put something in place like that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So, what do you say to people who say that it's too expensive? And what options are there to get coverage more affordably?
So it's more expensive to not put in place, honestly. The detriment that it can cause to your family is way more expensive than being more intentional about your spending and what you want it to look like in the future. So the myth you hear a lot about, it's expensive. There are so many different types of policies that do so many different things. A term policy is substantially cheaper and reasonable than a whole life policy, which gives you access to cash value, right? Because you're going to be making money off of this policy, yeah, you're going to pay a little bit more. But a term policy can be less than $20 a month for a high amount of coverage, right? So these are things that I put together for like someone that has a mortgage, a policy that will ride along with a 30-year mortgage, right? So if something were to happen to you, at least we know the house is paid off, right? At least we know that at least a mortgage is not another debt that your wife, your children, or your significant other has to worry about.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
That's
yeah,
good. I kind
it
of
just makes you
want to,
think about. Are you all like thinking, even if it's not for yourselves, are you thinking about other people
Yeah,
that really need to have this information? Like
yeah,
really?
and that's the point
yeah.
right there, the seed being planted. That's
Yeah.
the whole point. Because not everybody is ready to take action,
Mm-hmm.
but now they know the information so that when something happens, you're like, hey, I know a little bit about this. Let me ask. The information is free. It costs you nothing to enlighten yourself, right? But when you need it, you at least you'll know where to go, right? So that's
Okay.
Mhm.
important.
Yeah. Now, with that being said, let's go a little bit deeper. And what are living benefits, and how can they be accessed through a life insurance policy?
So the living benefits is very, very important. And what it does is it gives you the access to the cash value, or in the event of a sickness or some type of ailment, being able to access the benefit of the policy. For example, let's say you have a life insurance policy and it's worth 350,000, but you find out that you have cancer, right? There is a clause most of the time that's in place that say, hey, if you have an ailment, you can access this amount of money just to help you in, curing yourself. So those are different things that you can add on to a policy. That being able to customize a policy is pivotal. And it's also important that you work closely with your agent to have a better understanding as to what you need, your different options and possibilities within the policy.
Oh, good. Thank you.
Okay, so yeah, Allison went kind of deep there. Let me back it up a minute. At first, can you just share what the different types of life insurance are? So you said term and you mentioned a pot like policy, a whole life policy with cash value, but I think there are a few more out there as well. So if you just talk a little bit about what they are and the differences.
Yes. So you have a term policy, and a term policy is basically, think of it as a termination. It's an ending at some point in time, whether it be 10 years, 20 years, sometimes it's a 30-year policy if you customize it. But just think about it as renting, right? You go into the
Mhm.
rental property, you leave, you give them the key, you walk away, contract is voided, you go step away, that's fine. But then you have a whole life policy. This policy doesn't have a term, it doesn't have an ending, it follows you for the whole of your life, hence the word whole life policy. And the amazing thing about the whole life policy is that within the policy, there's something called cash value, right? I like to explain cash value in comparison to a credit card because I'm trying to pay off a credit card. And I think about it and I'm like, it's the exact reverse of a credit card. You know how you have that compounded interest, you try to pay off the policy or you try to pay off the interest, and it's like a never ending battle. It just
Mhm.
keeps going. Think about that money being paid back to you in that compounded form. So that's
Mhm.
what a whole life policy does. It protects your life for the whole of your life. And while it's protecting your life, growing cash value, and it's compounding the interest on that policy. Aside from that, the death benefit is also being increased as well. So what you would leave to your beneficiaries is not just staying at the original amount, it's increasing as well with the life of the policy.
Okay. Now, how would someone determine what is the best type of policy for them?
So it really depends. I would say that's why you need to contact and have a consultation and speak with an agent because we do something called a fact finder. And just as you will go to a doctor when you have an ailment or you have something that you want to cure or be better or proficient at, and they would ask you, how can I help you? You would have to be honest. You would have to be transparent. You would have to pull back the curtain, show them what the problem is. They can offer their expertise and their eye to create a better situation for you. So it's the exact same thing. You want to speak to an agent. You want to make sure you're clear on your goals, and they should be able to customize something based on the information that you provide for them.
Good stuff. I'm taking notes.
Yeah, that's good. I kind of had a follow-up question from something you asked. I mean, something we talked about earlier, if you don't mind, because I've seen folks who are in an older generation struggle with the idea or the importance of having life insurance or just getting just enough. And maybe that's because of their how they view money. So I guess I would like to ask for someone who might be out there, if you don't mind, someone who might be out there trying to convince their family member, auntie, uncle so-and-so, who are in a different generation. What do you tell them so that you can convince that older generation, this is important. This is an important investment. This is how we change our wealth outlook for the entire family and generations to come.
That is a really good question. I feel like we can take note from the Rockefellers, right? This is a intentional family when it comes to money management, when it comes to generational and wealth building. This is a family that is purposeful and intentional. So I think for someone like that, they need to think about not themselves, but what they're going to leave behind. And I'm just being honest. I have clients that say, I don't, they're going to deal with that. I'm not worried about that. They're going to figure it out. I pay for them to do this. But they're missing the point of the chaos and confusion that occurs when someone passes and everything is left on the family. I.e., we talked about, the fish fries, the GoFundMe's, and
Right.
more importantly, missing out on the opportunity to push the next generation further. We have to get out of that me mentality because real importance lies on how many people we bring forward when we're not here. So I think someone's mindset, you can't force them to see things your way, but what you can do is you can continue to feed their mind. You can continue to bring up the conversation. You can continue to say, listen, I'll help you pay for it just to put it in place. I will help with the financial aspect of it just to make sure that your burden isn't as strong, because we have some matriarchs, we have some patriarchs, and they know that when this person passes, it's going to be their responsibility, right? So if you are in a position to take responsibility financially, or even call a family meeting and split, so that you're being intentional about what's to come. And that's an option that we do. Me and Awanda, we do a lot of group family barbecues, family reunions, and we have the grandmoms like, listen, when I pass, y'all need to do this. So now we're being intentional about the seeds that we're planting, and we're speaking to not just one person, but we're having an array of people that have questions, that are interested in being more, I would say, and I'm going to keep saying the word, intentional about what we leave behind, how we leave it behind, and more importantly, what information we leave behind. Because I can tell you, children that have policies in place when their parents pass, they will put a policy in place for their children. And that right there is generational wealth building, education mindset.
That's good.
Yeah, she said the barbecues. We getting them together They come together for a barbecue. They got to talk about some things
Family
at that
Zooms.
barbecue.
We do family Zooms as well. Get everybody on Zoom. Let's talk. We do a presentation. There's no reason why this information is not disseminated on a mass basis. Like this,
Right.
you know, and I keep saying I'm a mother of five because I didn't know this information a couple years ago. And I really feel as though I missed out on a lot of things because I did not know it. Right. And when this information was brought to me, I felt like, whoa, had my mom put this in place for me, my life would have been substantially different. And I am being the person and the person that I want to see. And I'm making the decisions now for my children with that information in mind. So I want to tell all the mothers there to find a way to make this make sense. Set it and just forget it. Because when you set it, you forget it, you don't even know the money's coming out. But when you need it, this is something monumental for your family. So I digress.
No, that's good. That's good.
Yes. So I think the whole topic of mindset is really important because the like you're really talking about it from a generational wealth perspective, which is great. But so many of our people, our families, we can't even begin that conversation because they can't even see the need of doing it just to remove the financial burden that comes with burying you. Like you got to get past that point. That's why you're seeing a lot of the GoFundMe's because there was no insurance. Not even, I think a funeral now costs about $20,000 if you're going to like do the casket and the burial and all of that. Like you need to have that taken care of because in most cases, unless you actually came up with a plan with your family and have this money sitting in an account somewhere to pay for it, your family is going to struggle to figure out how to pay that bill, which then means like how that impacts the grieving process. Like you can't even really begin to grieve because you're trying to figure out how are you going to bury your loved one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see that
you can't
take time off of work, like none of that.
You can't. And that you just hit on a very important topic when it comes to life insurance because that grieving part, not being able to call up because you got to go to work, But let's flip that. What would it look like had somebody was intentional and put things in place? Hey, I've seen life insurance create better lives and leave people in a better situation than with that person alive, right? And able to pay off that home completely. What does that do, right? Now you have a real estate property, in the family that you can pass down that create listen, Airbnb, you can do all types of things. It's a way to generate funds and generate money, which will create wealth within the family. Right. So these are all ways that you can use life insurance intentionally to create that. But you cannot change mindset. But sometimes it's better for that person to hear it from another person. Right. You say it over and over again, and every Friday, and when you go and cook dinner, and they're like, "You need to hear like, all right, oh my God." But if you have someone else come in and look that person in the eye and be like, how do you want to be buried? Respect, it's an expression of love. If you say you love this person, you can express love in different ways, right? You can express love that is, generational, that won't just help your children, but will help grandchildren and great grandchildren. Right. So sometimes having another person speak on the importance is what that person may need, not hearing it from their loved one, but from a professional that's going to remove the emotional aspect of it, right? It's just going to be straightforward. Like, Do you want to be cremated? You know, do you
Which is
want?
not cheap anymore.
It's not cheap. No, none of it is cheap. It's very expensive to lay your loved one to rest. And there's so many
Yeah.
things that you can put in place, but having that conversation is the first step.
Yeah, I have another question, but I just have to say one thing too. For those of us who have policies and family dynamics have changed or you have remarried, I am a witness. I'm just going to say, change that stuff up.
Mm.
Change it up because I've seen it.
Point. You
I've
brought up
seen it a few times
Yeah.
in the
That is a
past
good
few years,
point.
even to a family member of mine. Those things they weren't changed, and everything went to an ex-spouse.
Yes, you brought up a good
Lord.
point. And this is why you need to have a really good relationship with your agent, because your agent should be reaching out to you at least annually. I know me and Awanda do quarterly and semi-quarter reviews, but you should be in your agent should be like, hey girl, what's up? What's going on with you? Oh, you had another baby? All right, let's put that policy in place. Oh, you just moved? We need to increase your mortgage protection. You got a bigger home. Okay. Oh, what you do all the work for 2 weeks? Okay, let's kick in that paycheck protection policy that we had in place for you. So this is a relationship that you want to build. And not only that, your life insurance agent is the plug, because they deal with a lot of other professionals, a lot of other people that you may need access to, right?
Right.
So it's an important relationship to harness. And when I talk to older people and they have a really good relationship with their agent, like they're coming to the barbecues. The upper echelon, I would call it, they have home appointments, not with just one person, the whole family. We're sitting down, we're talking to the whole family. Everybody has their folders and their policies in place. And everybody knows what's going to happen when this happens, this is how people need to be intentional about what it is that they're trying to create for their family. So you got a really good point.
Thank you.
That's
Yeah,
good.
I couldn't leave that one out, but I do have a question. So even when you're talking about professionals, is there something different recommended for high earning professionals?
Yeah. So if you're high earning, that goes back to having a consultation, because everyone's needs is completely different. So I don't want to go into the depths right now, but if you're high earning, I would say yes, you would want the foundation, which is life insurance, but you may want to speak to Rhonda because maybe you need to put some investments in place, right? Maybe you want some specific type of maybe annuities or different type of mutual funds. These are all things that correlate with life insurance, but life insurance is the foundation. Everything else that builds on top of life insurance, you need to make sure the life insurance is sound so that if anything happens to you, all those other ways of making money, it doesn't crumble because, now we got to pay for this, because life insurance was not in the proper form, right? So I would say yes. There is a distinction between high earning individuals and business owners, but your agent would know exactly what type of questions to ask and what type of policies or products to talk to you about.
Okay.
So
Thank you.
VULs, IULs, that's like the beginning conversation there.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Now,
good.
what about business owners? How do we protect our ability to earn? And ultimately, what are the things that we need to consider having in place as it relates to life insurance that helps to protect our businesses and our legacies?
That's a really, really, really good question. And Awanda, that's her specialty. But I'm going to hit on it. So there's something called key man insurance. And this is important for business owners because you want to protect that legacy, but you also want to protect that key person. And in the event that person has an ailment or cannot stand in that position, key man insurance does a couple of things. It gives you the option to buy another key person to take that position, or if the business may not be doing so good, it gives you options in leveraging that cash to maybe help to fortify what's lacking within that business. So Keyman Insurance has a couple different layers within it, right? So when you meet with your agent, based on your areas of concern, she will be able to procure a special option for you and what it is that you have going on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. That's new information for me. I don't know about anybody else.
Yes, never heard of it.
So
Yeah.
buy sell arrangements are important as well. That kind of falls into the key man insurance. So you have businesses that maybe you want to just buy out um, a partner. So that helps to fortify maybe keeping the family within the business. Maybe you might want to buy out the partner and keep the family in. So um, I would definitely suggest speaking with an agent directly based on your needs.
Nice. So Selena, what if someone wanted coverage this month? What are the first 3 steps that they would take?
So the first step would be contact me, contact me, contact me. No. So if you wanted a policy, I would say the first step would be scheduling with me and Awanda a free consultation. And the reason why we do the free consultation is because we are more intentional about the knowledge, because we really believe that once your mind is fortified, everything else will follow, right? So having a consultation, having us do the fact finder on you, which means you being honest about what it is that you're trying to accomplish, what you have in place, and then we create something that meets you where you are, right? Everyone's current situation is different. So we want to make sure that we're creating something that's doable for you. And times change, people's situation can change, but also giving you the flexibility to create a better situation if you can in the future. So first 3 steps: contacting Awanda and myself, doing the fact finder, and I would say making sure that you speak to your family about your interests in putting the things in place. Because me and Awanda noticed that when family units come together, wanting to create this I would say strong foundation, it's it's a way to hold each other accountable, right? So I would say um, I've seen families who have like monthly generational wealth meetings within their family. You should be having these type of conversations on a monthly basis. It should be like talking about the weather, you know. So I would say those are the 3 things that you can put in place.
Yeah, thank you for answering that. And I would say that goes back to what we talked about earlier, and that is mindset shift. There has to be a mindset shift in order to come together and talk about wealth building when you might come from poverty or low income, or you know what I'm saying? So that's good. Thank you for planting that seed.
Coming from poverty, because I'm gonna just say it because I feel like I'm talking to my girlfriends right now.
And you are.
I see so many people that say, "Oh, I don't have the money to put these things in place for my babies," but them babies is walking around in Jordans. They got Gucci, Prada, Fendi, G Givenchy. I mean, I even saying it right, but I feel like if you know the importance of what this can do, you will find a way to make a decision for your child, right? To make a decision for yourself, right? So yes, being intentional is important, but also that education aspect is important as well. And you hit on something else regarding, feeling like the policies that maybe their employer offers. I hear that a lot. Like, oh, I'm fine. I have a policy through my employer. And I hear that a lot, and it's like, that employer policy that you have is probably $8 or $9 automatically deducted from your paycheck, right? But you don't have access. There's no cash value being on that policy. And when you leave that job, you can't take it with you.
Oh, wow.
See so many retirees that were fired at the age of 55, and now they're calling me to get a policy at the age of 55. There are three criteria that goes into how much your premium is going to be: your age, your sex, and your health.
Health.
Right? And this is why I hit on the importance of children's policies, because a child's policies is substantially less than what it is to be for a 65-year-old. That's astronomical,
Right.
and then put in there what goes in with aging, your health. It's going to deteriorate. You got high blood pressure, you got insurability is a factor as well, right? We have so many mental health problems right now. We have so many children's type of cancers and childhood ailments that are happening right now. It is so important to lock in your child's insurability. It is so important for you to put a policy in place when they are young, so that if they are diagnosed with something, it won't matter, because the policy was already placed. Everything is already set. You can actually use that policy to help in finding the cure or helping to heal your child. So I want us to be intentional about all these things that are happening, and how life insurance it's a tool, it's an option, it gives you choices, it gives you variety, right? You would hate to just say, my child is sick, I can't do nothing about it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's something for parents to really think about.
Yeah. Good.
Wow, that was good.
Yes.
Right?
We were just in school. We just went to life insurance.
Yes. Yes.
Where's my
It's
certification?
Well, you know what? I have something else for you. A lot of people don't even know that driving records play a factor in you not being able to get a policy. Criminal records play a factor in you not being able to get a life insurance policy. So putting something in place for the children is important, because life be lifing. Things
Yes.
happen, right? I had a client that she put a policy in place for her child when he was young, and she used that policy to put a down payment to pay for the attorney when he was falsely accused of a crime, right? So these are things that I would say specifically our people need to know, but all people need to know, to give them options, right? So I have to put that in there.
That's good.
Thank you.
That's good.
absolutely such an important conversation. 'Cause I just remember hearing things, not necessarily just in my family, but just families that I was around growing up, and people like we're not talking about wills, we're talking about life insurance, like this fear that if they had the conversation that it was going to bring about their death.
Death.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
You
Still.
know,
Still.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and it's like, well, that's not likely to happen for one. But I mean, you never know when you're going, so it's better to be prepared.
Right.
And you know what I mean? And maybe you won't need it for 60 years
Yeah.
than to need it in 5 and not have anything at all.
Exactly.
You
It's
know?
taboo to speak about. But in my opinion, I feel like that's purposefully done.
Yeah. I think it's
Yeah.
funny too, because when you're a parent and you're a young parent, you do everything possible to show your child love. You buy everything, you're preparing the room, you're painting stuff, you're investing in so
Nesting.
many things. And then
Yeah.
when your kids are older, it's like fend for yourself. Like that love, because I like how you tied love to this thing. I've never heard that perspective before, but it's like the same way you love me, life insurance says you love me in the end too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yeah.
And that I think, and then my children's children will experience that invested love that you have for me. And I think that's something that we don't think about.
Right.
No, we don't. It's the last love letter.
That's good.
And I can tell you, it is a feeling like nothing before, when you can go to a family when they're mourning their significant other, and you place that check in their hand and they're like, what? You know, this type of intentional thinking, it's amazing that you guys are bringing this up right now, because love is a verb. It's an action, right? You can buy gifts, you can buy flowers, you can buy jewelry, you can buy perfume. Yeah, those are actions, way to show that you love them. But creating a policy that follow the generations to come and change the trajectory of not one child, but generations to come, that's a love letter that's worth way more. And it's just so sad that we don't see that in our communities anymore.
Right.
I really feel like it's intentional, because what it could possibly do to us in our mind, right? Because I stated before, a child that has received a life insurance policy that was put in place for their by their parent, they will 99% of the time see the
Do the
value
same thing.
and do the same for them and their children and their children. And that right there now creates a snowball effect of intentional thinking that will create generational wealth, right? It's all about creating generational wealth. It's all about leaving the next generation in a better position than we could ever be.
Right. That's
Insurance
good.
is one of the most powerful yet overlooked tools in order for you to do that. Very, very powerful, very, very overlooked. And it's not expensive. That's what really gets me, right? I can do a children's policy for less than $50 a month.
Mm-hmm.
The people that say, oh, I put $50 a week, every paycheck, I put $50 in the account for my, okay, you put it in the bank account, right? Okay, so you're getting 0.01% interest rate on that $50, but you can put it into a life insurance policy that starts at 4.5%. That doesn't make any sense, right? Right? You talk about people becoming their own bank. That's the cash value that you have access to that you can either take out or you can borrow from yourself at a substantially lower interest rate.
Right.
Or it's a gift that you can leave to your child where they can take the money out. Let's say they want to start a business. Let's say they want to get married. Let's say they want to purchase their first home.
Right.
Right. So I'm sorry, I get a little excited when I'm talking about it because it's like this is real now.
This is good. That's good.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for being here and sharing all of this information. I'm sitting here thinking like, okay, my birthday is coming up and they're like, what do you want? What's your birthday? Like, I don't know. Be like, can I, some kind of policy I can get?
You know,
I need some long-term disability. I need this, I need that.
That's so funny.
This is why it's amazing what you guys are doing here, because knowledge is so powerful. But sometimes it has to come from people that you feel and you vibe with, right? So this education is going to go further than just us four on the screen right now. It's going to take a lot of people, and I really feel like this information has the possibility to really break a lot of chains that yes, our people have been under or tied down to, but I want to be more intentional, not just Life Insurance Awareness Month that we talk about this. I want to make it a comfortable conversation that we have within our families on a regular basis.
Good.
Yeah. That's awesome. So please share with the viewers how they can connect with you and or Awanda for next steps to learn how they can get their lives protected and their loved ones' futures secured.
Thank you. So my name is Selena Nelson Kanu, and you can contact me directly. My number is 717-623-4811, and you can call me. We can schedule a free consultation. My email is S as in Selena, N as in Nelson, Kanu, K as in kite, A as in alpha, N as in Nancy, U as in umbrella, 1020 @gmail.com. Send me an email. I'll contact you directly. And you can also contact Awanda. We work together. We do a lot of events together. We do a lot of Zoom family meetings, a lot of family reunions. And her direct number is 302-753-3929. Same thing, give her a call. She'll schedule a consultation, and we'll be more than happy to just disperse this information.
Nice.
Yes, thank you so much,
Thank
Selena.
you.
Thank you.
That's it. I was ready to go.
That's
Girl,
it.
you
We got a
listen,
lot in this
you
short
have
time.
downloaded plenty. We need to now digest.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate your time and this opportunity to just enlighten. And I look forward to hearing from people and,
Yes.
you know, this being more beneficial to everyone. So thank you again for having me.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Now, we just want to remind you that our official Monday is next Monday, October 6th. We'll be back with another episode of The Coaches Are In. We are going to do a part 2 to marriage, money, and making with the viewer questions. So
Back
we've got
by
more
popular
viewer
demand.
questions, yes, that we're going to be asking.
Yes. What do you want to know?
Yes. So we have some in the bag that we can pull from, but if you send one in that's a little more juicy,
we ready.
We'll read yours instead. So be sure to tune in Mondays at 8 p.m. at thecoachesrn.tv on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe, like, and share. And we will see you next time. So for now, the coaches are out.
The coaches are in. When you need a timely, transparent friend, tune into the coaches are in. Talking career, business, health, and wealth. You got a friend now into the coaches are in. With authenticity, come on, let's take a seat.